Welcome to the HigherHer podcast by Talent Collective, presenting conversations with inspiring women in talent. And get ready, ladies, because this is the last time you're going to hear a man's voice on this show.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's episode of the HigherHer podcast put on by Talent Collective. If you don't know what Talent Collective is, we are a community for women in the recruiting space. And we are really excited to be here on my couch again here in Alameda, California. And we have a really, really special guest here today with us. Her name is Stephanie Lyman. So welcome, Stephanie.
Hi, thank you.
So Stephanie has a very extensive background in TA and has been head of talent at several companies. And in recent years, she's been running her own business. So she's had a coaching business for over 8 years. And most recently has started her own firm again called Vault. And she helps companies, a lot of startups and other technology firms with employee engagement, leadership development, and really the whole like talent management pipeline. So we're really excited to get to know her a bit today. So welcome again. We'd love to hear from you. Tell us all about yourself and your journey in recruiting and talent.
Yeah, perfect. Well, first of all, thanks for having me here. I'm super excited and honored to be part of this podcast. A little bit about me, like you said, I started the first half of my career in talent acquisition. So started as a recruiter, like you said, moved on to head of talent at a fast growing startup, which is now a unicorn startup. So, it was kind of one of those experiences of just being thrown into it and scaling. And it was just a fantastic experience on the sense of really learning what it takes in talent acquisition there to grow and to scale. And from there, it really opened up my eyes. I think it's like it at a lot of different startups where you wear multiple hats, right? Mm-hmm. You're doing all the things. And there is where it opened my eyes into mentoring and coaching and really brought out and piqued my interest in learning and development. And so from there, that's where I left to get my coaching certification and was able to pivot my career into learning and development, like you said, and was able to build out the learning and development function at a startup, as well as get that experience at a Fortune 500 company as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Impressive.
So, yeah.
Very nice. And then what are you doing nowadays?
Yeah. So now I am taking that like you said, I started my company with Vault Leaders and am I am nervous. So I started my company with Vault Leaders, and really it has evolved. So I'd love to, we can talk a little bit more about that, going from that talent acquisition space and recruiting and evolving into coaching individuals and leaders, and then evolving into working with these organizations and really seeing that full life cycle from talent acquisition, partnering with TA professionals there, to then how can we retain and engage talent. And so really partnering with organizations there.
Very nice. How have you liked having your own business and kind of going out and doing it on your own now?
I love it. Yeah. I mean, there's definitely some challenges. I do miss, which is what I think I love about the Talent Collective, is there's a part where I miss community. I miss sometimes that teamwork, but I do love the aspect of being able to just see that transformation and that change that can happen through coaching, especially through the individual coaching there, or just seeing kind of the development of managers. Let's say if you have a first time manager, and just seeing that impact that you can have in an organization. So I love it. And I miss some parts of it, the community for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's only so much kind of like teamwork, that happens when you're consulting, because you're not like truly in it. But of course, you're still collaborating and helping and contributing. Well, would love to go into asking you to be a bit vulnerable with us. So, we really like to kind of hit on just a little like more human elements in this podcast, and realize that we all experience challenges in our lives, both personally and professionally. So hoping you'd be willing to share a challenge that you've had either personally or professionally. So tell us about that, and how you overcame it, any lessons learned.
Definitely. Yeah. First part of this podcast. No, I'm joking.
Yeah. You're doing great. Don't worry.
No. Definitely I would say back to, that company where I was head of talent, and it was probably one of the most rewarding and pivotal moments of my career and experiences. And it was also one of the most challenging. Like I said, I was wearing multiple hats, and I felt like I was doing all the things. I took on a lot and almost too much, meaning I was a first-time manager. I was first time in a leadership position.
Wow.
I felt like I had to, know all the answers and do everything correctly. And I remember I was like indecisive and not making quite the right decisions. I had a hard time delegating and letting go so I could focus on more of the strategic work. Honestly, I feel like I was a classic textbook example of exactly what you're not supposed to do when you're in that either like high pressure environment or that first time manager role. And so, while I was very successful in the role and I was very successful in the company, it was at the detriment to my health.
This is William Tincup, and I'd like to talk to you a little bit about Indeed FutureWorks. Ryan and I attended the conference last year, and we created a limited series for Indeed where we talked to their customers. Great stories around TA and how they use Indeed to the max. So check it out. It's just Indeed FutureWorks 2024. You could search for it wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks.
Yeah, I just remember just my, and maybe even my sanity, but it really, it's like that scaling in that high pressure environment and not putting myself first. So I ended up leaving to take care of myself. I was burnt out, burnout is real, and the effects that it can have on, I noticed a lot on my body and that it can have. And so really then, and you're saying like, what did you learn from that? It's like, once I was able to take a step back and learn, I went and got my coaching certification after that. And I was able to learn the tools and the resources of how to, in a sense, bring my best self to work and really reflect on, okay, who do I want to be as a leader as I'm continuing to grow my career? Because what I was doing, while it was successful, quote, it was not completely successful on, how I wanted to show up as a leader. So, I was able to learn, yes, like the tactical side of things, like, okay, yes, you need to delegate, you need to take a step away, you have to get out of the weeds. But then there also was this other side of kind of more like the inner work where I was figuring out, like learning a little bit and taking a step back of how I was, in a sense, almost self-sabotaging myself, not having the confidence to step away, not really resourcing myself and being aware of my influence that I was having on myself, with the internal stress and struggle and ruminating, plus my influence that I was having on others and on my team. So I just was, I always say it was like the most exciting and rewarding aspect and part of my career. And it was, there was a huge pivot, but it also was a tough lesson, that I had to learn. And I'm grateful that I, not to sound cheesy, it does, but, it did take me on this journey of, I want to be, more conscious and aware as a leader, so you take the time to reflect on that.
Well, and it's often those really challenging times that when you're going through it are just so hard. Like Natalie and I were on a meeting today that I just like wanted to cry the entire time. But like, I know we'll look back on this and be like, remember the early days of Talent Collective and like how fun and hard it was. But like you're not feeling it anymore, but you know, like there was rewards from it and you know, you grew so much and all of those things. But when you're going through, it's freaking hard.
Yes, it is definitely.
But luckily you can look back now and see some of those golden nuggets.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, for sure.
I feel like I had a very similar situation, and it was the catalyst where I decided like, I don't think I ever want to work for a startup again, at least not at that stage, because that doesn't resonate with my values or how I want to show up for myself or for any, other variety of reasons. So would you say that essentially was the catalyst that really kickstarted this business because you found an opportunity to help people, or it started as your personal journey and then you just found like, oh, I'm good at this? Yeah. How did it really end up dominoing?
Both. Yeah. So I would say, definitely about the values and strengths there. Like I can definitely relate to that. But with this, it really was the impetus that just did bring me along on this journey and my personal journey. But then also as I did learn the tools and resources and, got my coaching certification and starting to like dive deeper into that work. And once I was able to take that step back and reflect, so many of my clients are women in tech, and I just see it. And part of it is looking back, know that if I would have had a coach during that time to help me kind of mirror and take a step back and see and reflect and give, and to also let me know that it's normal. This this scaling stage is normal, and you can have tools to go through it, a little more gracefully, I should say, that I just feel so passionate of seeing others in that same situation that I was in and how I want to just give back and help and provide now the knowledge and the resources that I have. So yes, it did help me or bring me along that journey. And I just kept on, and I say journey because I do think it is. It's all part of a path and a journey. And it always is, this journey that I continue to go on.
Yeah. I mean, just like they say, everything happens for a reason. And it was part of your journey to get there. And it's just, a natural par for the course. But you can't see me. I've been talking like hello, here I am. I was going to ask, like, if you had any mentor along the way. Like you had mentioned, I wish maybe I had a coach, but was there any female leader that you could champion through that process?
Yeah, another lesson, it's a great question. Another lesson for myself would be to reach out and ask for help. Yes, I did have and still do and talk to this day, like a mentor on the talent acquisition side. Fantastic. Shout out to you, Kelly, if you ever see this, was fantastic. And, was always there for you. I would call her as I was scaling, going through, trying to figure out, okay, headcount planning. How do we plan for this? How do we do that? And she would always be there and help me. And I don't think I reached out enough on, just kind of a little bit more of like the vulnerable side of just how I was struggling and how to handle all of it. I think I could have reached out more. And gotten that support.
An advocate for yourself.
Definitely.
Yeah. It's hard when you're in the thick of it. You're like, I want to be confident and I can do it all myself. But it's not always that easy.
Yeah, definitely. And then I think it's just always learning or being aware, right, of slowing down. I feel like so often, at least in the startup space and in the tech space, it's so fast, right? And it's just go, 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 go. And sometimes, it's just that slowing down to really I guess to speed up, not sound cliche, but it's just like that slowing down so you can be aware, even to be aware of like, wow, I think I need, some time. I think I need some help with this. I think like the best path forward is not thinking that, I can figure this out on my own. I can do this on my own. I can do this, and it's relying on other people. But, first being, at least for myself, I should say, first being aware, really like pausing and just noticing where I'm at and choosing a different path. And a different path would have been, to reach out to my mentor, to ask for that help there.
Yeah. And it probably plays such a huge role in how you run your business now. Differently, like, oh, I don't want to do things like I used to. So in my own business, I'm going to do it differently.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. I think in my own business, I first of all will, have worked a lot on, when I'm working, when I'm working with individuals, really focusing on, you mentioned it, their values and their strengths so they can bring that into the workplace. And then for myself as well, looking at companies where I feel aligned with them and, their mission and their values, but also I'm not like, go, grind into the night, type of a person with my business. And I'm still able to get in there and look at, the overall, I don't want to say problems, but I'm going to say problems of a company and really helping and figuring out this employee engagement or retention and looking at burnout. So it's like kind of this bigger picture as I am bringing in maybe leadership development. It's, yes, we can learn like, okay, what are the competencies of a leader? I believe there's just so much more to it than some of that tactical work there. Yeah, and that's how I definitely approach things differently from there, for sure.
Love it.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, of course.
So you've shared a lot about what you're currently doing with your company, and we'd love to hear if you have any future plans for the direction you'd like to go, or just what's on the horizon.
Yeah, for sure. So I will definitely continue to work with organizations. It's a part that I love going in there and really working on, in a sense, transformation at scale, instead of the individual. So really trying to build that transformation there. So to continue to work with and partner with organizations for, again, like you mentioned earlier, like leadership development, retention, employee engagement. And then another part that I'm really, really excited about is in Q1 of next year. I can't believe we're already getting there. But of Q1 of next year, I want to introduce a conscious leadership accelerator. It's been just so, as you've heard, just so pivotal in myself and bringing that work with my clients that I want to have more of an impact with that work. And I mentioned earlier, like it is a path and it is a journey. So I'm hoping for more community based there, because I am finding with this work that there's a difference between really like reading about something and then doing it and practicing and living it. And I have also found, this might be a bold statement, but that as you're living and practicing, this work is best done in community. And so I really want to bring that work into community. So I'm looking to introduce that beginning of next year. So Q1, nice. Very excited. And then a vision or a dream. So I don't have or know when I want to do it, but it's another part that I'm really excited about is I want to launch a leadership retreat for women, really bringing in neuroscience, the mindfulness, breath work, and some of the leadership principles again, just build that community there.
Well, tell Natalie and I when that is, because we would love to be there. And curious about the Conscious Leadership Accelerator. So your idea, correct me if I'm wrong, but is it so to bring together almost like a cohort of women or just leaders in general, and have them go through it together? Is that? So
there would be like modules of teaching, right? Just to understand some of the work of neuroscience and how do you resource yourself when you are in that like stressful situation. Let's say you're with a hiring manager, things are just crazy and it's really, really stressful. So giving you the tools there, and then going, like you said, cohort based, and really doing that work in community and live calls. Yeah.
Exciting. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, of course.
So it sounds like you're looking to make a big impact on women in leadership. Do you have many clients, or what would be the balance of clients that are men versus women?
Yeah, the majority of the clients that I work with are women.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say almost most who come to me are women. When the reason I hesitate a little bit there is when I'm in an organization or working in an organization, I work with any and all leaders, but a lot of times outside of it, it generally is women.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what are like some general themes that you're hearing from specifically the women in terms of like leadership challenges they're experiencing, or how things are different for them versus men?
Yeah.
What if I told you that your boss skydives, Tim in marketing is a magician, and Sam in accounting does sums in his head while standing on his hands? Seeing sides of the people you work with but never see, sides that inform and inspire their work and that can inspire yours, is what The Talent Show is all about. Email me, Tom Alexander, host of The Talent Show, at talentshow@backboneinc.com, and show us what you got. I look forward to seeing you on The Talent Show.
Kind of, starting to think about some of the challenges that I'm seeing are, and I can just see myself in some of it of that, again, that taking that to that scaling aspect, and really like letting go, and perfectionism comes up a lot there as well. But what I've seen, like the difference, I would say, from the men and women, and while this is not, I just want to preface by saying it's not universal. I do think that society and expectations do shape a little bit of how women like approach leadership, different than men, but I wouldn't say it's universal. But a lot of times, which I think can be an advantage, is I, see more, women who are they're more collaborative in their leadership style there, which then I'm seeing, there can be some hangups there, but really the advantage of it is just more of an inclusive team, like really fostering the sense of belonging as well, which I think is just so imperative, as you are growing as a leader there. And then also, there has been some research that a lot of times women, I don't know if the right word is score better, or just they have higher emotional intelligence as well. And sorry, man. But that, and really that can just show up as like empathy, and just bringing that empathy and into the workplace and into your leadership style, can have just so many advantages there as well. But one thing as I'm saying this out loud, one thing that I always like to work with my clients on, though, is like, yes, there are these like themes, right, for women leaders. And so often, what I'll work with these women on is just finding your unique strengths, your unique values, so that you can then approach leadership, as an authentic leader, as yourself. So you're true to yourself and to your core. And there might be some parts that, generally are universally a little bit more masculine or this or that, but it's just really working with these leaders to find their own authentic leadership style. Yeah. And that's just something I'm really passionate about there.
I think I need your assistance. But on the reverse, like I often feel like I want to be more aggressive than I come across. Like inside, I just want to like cut to the chase, and I don't want to have to like dance around things or be delicate. But I feel this internal struggle as a woman, like, I should probably come at it a little bit more delicate, stay in my feminine energy, all the things. And it just like is always a struggle for me, because I feel like I'm wasting time, or like it just doesn't resonate with me. And so I'm curious if you have any women that you work with that are kind of in this and we're
Yeah. And I mean, I think, yes. I mean, almost I want to say like, yes, myself. No, I'm just kidding. But yes, no, definitely. And I think, like you mentioned, like, right, you want to like just speak up more. Is it kind of like that, or?
I think I speak up.
Okay.
Confidently, but I, what's the word? I struggle with the niceness of it. Like, this is why Kristen and I work so well together, as I always joke, she's the nice one.
Okay.
And
not
that I feel like I'm mean, but I don't have the same type of patience to be kind. I can handle it up to a point, but then I'm like, I'm just done. I don't want to deal with it anymore. So anyways.
Yeah. No, definitely. No, that makes sense. And, it makes me think about, sometimes that can be, like you said, it's just like an impulse, or you just want to be done and you just want to do this, and like kind of starting to look at and think about and inquire into like, when is that reactivity or that reaction just doing more harm than good? And, reflecting on that. And honestly, it starts to become more aware, pausing. And it sounds like you do notice, but whether or not, if you notice in the thick of it, and then like, again, choosing that different path. But yeah, we definitely, there's the, I don't speak up enough. I see that a lot with the women. I see that side. I'm not confident enough. I read my email 10 million times before I hit send. I do all of this versus, I am like quick and sharp and this, and, and there's no right or wrong. It's just starting to look at, again, when is it doing more harm than good?
And or like, where do you want to be, right?
Yeah. And who do you want to show? How do you want to show up as a leader?
Yeah.
Who do you want to be?
Maybe some people don't care about, being sharp and direct. But anyways, not to make this a coaching session.
Yeah, I was going to say, this turned into a little coaching session.
I love it.
Yeah. Well, is there, anything else that you want to share with the audience? Like, ways that you could be of assistance to them?
Yeah.
How can you best support companies? Where can they find you?
Yeah, no, awesome. Well, first of all, thanks again for having me. This was this was great. It was fun. It was,
quick, short, to the point.
Quick, short, to the point there. I'd say the best way to connect with me is on LinkedIn. Connect with me on there. Feel free to message me, reach out to me. That's probably the best way. And I'll stay in touch with Talent Collective too. If you're interested in hearing more about this Conscious Leadership Accelerator, when I do introduce that, maybe I'll even work with y'all to put out a wait list or something, because it's not announced yet, or the dates, and but we can put something together there.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Well, in the meantime, we'll be sure to feature you in our partner marketplace, and so people can find you and book time with you.
Perfect.
Yeah. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in. Until next time, we're going to have a little bit of a holiday break, as you can see the Christmas lights here. But in the meantime, stay tuned, follow all of our channels, iTunes, Spotify, Apple Music, all the things, and like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.